Why not end my career on top?
OMG, Jazz is out of retirement?
I'm here to make a name for myself.
And allow yourself to be enchanted, dazzled again by All Red Everything, Eva Marie! Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
And the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star. Oh my gosh, coming to us internationally.
I'm currently reporting from my parents' bedroom. They evacuated for me. Yeah, I'm quarantined for the first 2 weeks, so it's been fun. It's been long. It's been lonely.
We're here now, so
yeah.
New company, at least for a little bit, with some news and rumors.
We have so many great news that we have to cover. So starting from Paloma's favorite, Jazz coming out of retirement to go to Impact Wrestling. Oh my god.
I'm so selfish because the first thing I thought of whenever I heard this, I'm like, does that mean I maybe get to wrestle her in the Indies somehow? Obviously, I was very excited about it, especially because she's tagging up with Jordan Grace for the Knockout Tag Team Tournament. So that's really cool and exciting. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, maybe I should start watching Impact.
Same. I know the Impact has been absolutely amazing, but when Jazz arrived, I was like, this is a must-watch TV for everyone. When the tournament was first announced, Jordan Grace's partner was like, question mark. And then they announced that it would be former WWE Women's Champion Jazz joining the Impact Knockout Tag Team Tournament to crown the new champion. So it's so exciting.
Really, when she was really coming up, there was no tag women's division at all. So I think it's awesome to see that, two different companies now have a tag division. We're now going to have women's tag team championship. So that's really cool to see.
So Jazz, even in the interview with us, talked about how she's thinking about retirement, right? I've heard from your previous interviews that you are thinking of retirement.
I am. I'm pretty much retired. I want to make my announcement. I had plans to do the announcement pre-COVID because I was going to do a tour, but of course, unfortunately, the world just completely stopped, But I still want to do a tour. I'm not wrestling anymore right now. I'm done. But in order to just say my goodbyes to the world and I have so many young women that want to have a match with me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, the list is too long. It's too long.
Does that mean I maybe get to wrestle her in the Indies somehow?
Just to go out the right way. I still may do a tour. Let's see what 2021 is gonna do.
What is wrestling without fake retirement, right?
Maybe she's gonna use this opportunity with Impact as her little retirement tour that she wanted and deserved, quite honestly, because everybody wants to leave on top. You're only as good as your last match, and I'm pretty sure her last match, she didn't think, global pandemic was gonna happen and she was gonna be able to wrestle again. So maybe she's gonna be using this Impact tournament as her retirement tour.
I don't know if people know, but Gail Kim is the one that's producing a lot of the women's matches lately. She said she's been producing Jazz's matches, and she's very excited to work with her old coworker, and she says she's going to do Jazz right. In her first match against Killer Kelly and Renee Michelle, she pinned Renee with amazing jazz stinger. Carmella, this is how you do face buster. Just kidding, she does it pretty well too. But she's advancing to the next round, and she'll be facing Havoc and Nevaeh in a match.
I'm glad she's getting, it's so weird saying getting this opportunity. I'm like, hello, of course, it's Jazz. But I think she's being reintroduced to many people who were not as familiar with her or not really know who she is. So I think it's really cool for her to be able to wrestle new people, but wrestle in front of new people. Obviously there's no audience, but you never know. Some people might not know who she is, getting to know who she is, and goes back and sees how awesome and badass Jazz is.
Oh, Jazz is so badass. And if anything tells how people are interested in Jazz, her interview with us got over 100,000 views real quick. It's just WWE that's being petty, so...
She's the epitome of ahead of their time, for sure. She was so ahead of the time.
Speaking of Knockouts division, there is this very exciting thing going on right now with AEW and Impact collaborating, doing some amazing stuff. No mention of Knockouts and AEW's women's division collabing yet. I'm waiting for it.
It makes sense. Come on, why not?
If anything, AEW's women's division really need help from Knockouts division.
If anything, that's going to help them out that way, for sure.
I want to be excited too. Let's talk about something beguiling, enchanting, dazzling, all red everything. or is she all pink everything? I'm not very sure at this point. She's been changing her hair color. Eva Marie has been rumored to be back in WWE for a couple of weeks now. But again, this week we got another update saying that Eva Marie has signed new contract in September and she is named in the internal roster.
Ooh, interesting. I can't really picture her where she would be. I mean, it would be weird for her to be in NXT because I feel like NXT's women's division is in a completely different level. Maybe that she won't really mesh well with. Also, sticking her with NXT might be able to elevate her game even more, you know, being around like iron sharpens iron, being around also different women. I don't know. I'm being really interested to see what the long-term plan is with her.
Last time she was in WWE, her NXT run was probably best out of what she's done.
Yeah.
She really wasn't able to do much. Her SmackDown thing was very interesting. Her like wardrobe malfunction and everything was really cool, but she didn't get to do much because of the wellness policy violation. I was working in WWE at that point. I legit thought her not competing in SummerSlam because of wellness policy was a gimmick. Is this true?
That's so funny and crazy. You're like, wait, really?
But it was real. So anyway, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that Eva Marie has been back training for her comeback. PW Insider also confirmed that Eva Marie is listed as a member of the company's roster internally, but has not been officially assigned to a brand. She has been seen several times in Orlando at WWE Performance Center since September. Also, something noteworthy that happened this week is on Raw, the beautiful, enchanting Angel Garza was doing one of his like sexy promos, and then he was giving rose to this mystery woman behind the camera. And the day after, Eva Marie posted this very interesting photo with the rose Tuesday morning. So it might be just coincidence, but it might be just her playing the fans, but it might be little tease. What do you think of potential team between Angel Garza and Eva Marie?
I mean, I don't know if it'll be so much of a team. I think maybe it'll be like, oh, I'm the distracting eye candy type of dynamic. Maybe, I mean, it'll be kind of cool and interesting to see if it was a actual tag team. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. We haven't seen that in a while. I don't know. I just feel like, hey, you're a hot woman. Hey, you're a hot man. Let's put you together and make things work. We'll see. I'm really interested because I really, like I said, I don't exactly know where she would fit in all this like moving parts.
If anything, I can see her maybe partnering up with Carmella. I feel like they have very similar gimmick going right now.
For sure, I could see that. But maybe they could be like, no, that's my gimmick. No, that's my gimmick. And then fight over it.
I feel like Eva Marie's full potential is almost like reverse Lana. Like how Lana, they're trying to make her into this face. If they did that to Eva Marie, she would be like the biggest heel of all time.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Now that you say that, I could totally see that way.
So hope her training is going well because what I've seen on Total Divas wasn't looking very promising. Just kidding. I think she has a lot of potential, especially with so much heat she has. That's rare. That's rare. Let's go to Charlotte Flair news. So Charlotte has been off TV since June. Do you miss Charlotte?
I do miss her for sure. Like, I don't know what she would be doing right now, but she would still be killing it.
I don't want to say that I miss her, but I also kind of miss her because WWE definitely cares about her. So when she's in a storyline, WWE takes care of her. But anyway, there's a couple interesting news about Charlotte Flair going around right now. First news is a potential rumor about storyline that's going to go for Charlotte Flair when she returns. So WrestleVotes have reported that idea has been discussed, not determined at this point, is an on-screen pairing of Charlotte Flair and Andrade when they return to TV. The idea behind it is to use Charlotte's star power to elevate Andrade into the main event scene.
I think this is probably the first time that we've seen in the wrestling world where a woman's stardom is being used to help out a man versus the other way around. So I'm really excited about that. Kind of like, yeah, women are powerful. They're the ones in control and in power now. I think that's kind of exciting. I don't know how it would work long-term wise, because that means like what they're going to be together for the rest of the WWE careers. Like, it's always kind of weird whenever you put somebody together who's together in real life, because you kind of like book yourself into a corner and can only do certain things, because if they break them up in storyline, then they have to like be broken up in their social media and real life. They can't be seen together. I mean, I know kayfabe's not necessarily thriving right now. But still, there needs to be some sort of that. But I'm interested to see what happens.
I don't necessarily want to see Charlotte being a manager. Because she's so freaking talented. Is there any team that you would want to see them face in an intergender match?
Why not Angel Garza and Eva Marie? There we go. We're just talking about that. Why not?
I feel like their star power is so high. I feel like the only pair really I could think of is like Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. That would be epic.
Wow, that would be awesome. I did not expect you to say that, or I didn't even think about that, but I like that.
Another news regarding Charlotte Flair is about her whole NXT booking. So if you remember earlier this year, Triple H was explaining this whole Charlotte Flair NXT Women's Championship run by saying that there's a big plan. But where was the plan? According to Fightful Select, the reason for NXT's frustrating booking of Charlotte Flair was due to NXT's creative plan being nixed by Raw's. The report said when the NXT creative would come up with creative plans for Charlotte Flair, it would often need to go through Raw, but would get shot down. Originally, Rhea Ripley was supposed to win WrestleMania match, but it was changed to Charlotte. There was a big push within NXT to have Bianca Belair added even sooner, that she was to feud so that Charlotte could lose the match without taking the pin. So I guess the original plan for WrestleMania match was also triple threat with Bianca Belair added?
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Would have wished I would have saved that for later, because the match with Charlotte and Rhea was so good that I don't necessarily wanted to change, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to see Bianca versus Charlotte versus Rhea.
But now knowing that they were planning to have Bianca pinned in that match, I'm like, maybe it was better that we didn't see that. I guess it just means there's definitely some creative dissonance between the NXT team and the main roster team, and that's probably why when NXT stars come up to main roster, they do whatever the they want.
That's right. It's always weird hearing like retroactive news. It's just like fantasy booking in the past, which is even weirder than fantasy booking in the future. But
and then another interesting news about Charlotte Flair. Have you watched Punky Brewster?
No, I have no idea what that show is.
The only knowledge I have about Punky Brewster is when Tori Wilson was taunting Ashley Massaro, and she was like, Punky Brewster. Oh, I mean Ashley.
Punky Brewster. I mean Ashley.
I had no idea there was an actual show.
So anyway, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair is to appear on Punky Brewster Reboot. The interesting thing about this news is that the source is Devon Dudley's cameo video.
Random source ever.
I'm out here in LA helping to produce a show with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. It's Punky Brewster. It's an old 80s show here in America that we basically used to watch as a kid, and now it's come back like everything else has from the 80s. And so now I'm out here producing and helping and choreographing just like I do in WWE right now.
Back in January, NBC Universal announced that it is bringing back the show for its new streaming service, Peacock. Wrestling Observer newsletter confirmed that Alexa and Charlotte were in LA a few weeks ago to film the episode of Punky Brewster, and Devon Dudley was there as a stunt choreographer.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's always cool to see women's wrestlers transcend into more mainstream media. I mean, it's kind of weird because I can't really be too excited or know how I feel about this since I'm not familiar with the show. But I feel like that about so many shows. Like, I've never watched Golden Girls, by the way.
The poster that's behind me every week.
Yeah, every week. I've never watched that. I've never watched like all those like Americana shows like Full House and Saved by the Bell and Friends. I never watch any of those.
You never watch Friends. All I know about Punky Brewster is that the main character kind of looks like Alexa Bliss right now with that crazy hair.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll be twinning. I don't know.
So is this like a big show? I guess you're not the best person to ask either.
Okay, let's go to the injury veil. There's some injury news. So Candice LeRae, after that amazing War Games match. Did you like War Games match?
I loved it. So good. Such hard hitting. There was so many crazy spots. Io Shirai, oh my gosh. crazy.
Apparently, after that match, Candice LeRae had a broken arm. Triple H revealed during the post-takeover media call that Candice LeRae had possibly broken her arm, and it was confirmed on NXT this week that Candice did actually suffer a broken arm at War Games. Right now, how long she'll be out of action is not revealed.
She came out in a brace, so I didn't think it was broken because I feel like if it was broken, it would have been in the cast, but she just had a brace. So I thought, I'm like, oh, maybe she just sprained it or just hurt real bad. But
yeah, it's so sad because Candice, when she walked out with that big wing, I was like, this is working for me. Her dark Disney gimmick is so working for me. It's so my teenage years. I was loving it. I wanted to see where it goes, but now I guess it's Johnny Gargano and two injured girls, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
And Austin Theory, who's being portrayed as not the smartest person.
What?
Yeah, in their whole little segment that they did in NXT, they portrayed Austin Theory as being like a really dumb guy.
Like a Eugene?
And I mean, not bad.
But another injury-related news is obviously the heartbreak Chelsea Green and Mickie James. So Chelsea Green obviously was injured on her debut match on SmackDown, and Mickie James was also out of action because of her little minor injury. Apparently, WWE had this huge plans for Chelsea and Mickie James. So according to report from Fightful Select, Chelsea Green and Mickie James were supposed to be in an angle together this year. They wanted to do a reboot of the famous Mickie James and Trish Stratus angle that culminated into match at WrestleMania 22. Remember when Mickie James was like an obsessed fan?
Yes, that's when I became obsessed with Mickie James. I remember watching this so vividly when I was younger and watching it with my mom, and my mom calling her La Loca the whole time, like the crazy one. But this is such an iconic, very well thought out, long women's storyline, and you hadn't seen that in a while since, quite honestly, like Trish and Lita. But this was like really good written and thought out. I think it would have been so cool to see because we kind of seen shades of that with Chelsea Green when she was a hot mess. She could put her own spin on it, and I think that's kind of sucks about the reboots is that they're going to compare it so much to the original. But I think that would have added so much more of their own to the storyline. I would love to see the storyline. I hope they go back to it when they're both cleared.
Wow, I didn't think much about this, but then now thinking about Chelsea's hot mess gimmick, oh my gosh, she would have killed this.
Yes, I agree because it's so crazy. Okay, this is so weird, but I feel like a lot of women are scared to be ugly or scared to have like ugly gimmicks or like just a straight up heel, and everybody wants to be the cool heel. That Chelsea Green, I mean, obviously she's gorgeous, but she wasn't scared to go there. She wasn't scared to act a fool, to look dumb, to look ugly. I mean, obviously she didn't look like ugly. I mean, come on, how many women would be willing to go out in front of a national audience with your makeup all messed up and hair messed up and acting crazy? Like, she was so perfect for it, and she brought in so much like energy and like herself that you almost like, well, shit, what if she really is like this? So like, you know, I would love to see this, and I'd love to see Mickie James be on the other side of it.
That was what was going to happen. So in this version, Chelsea Green would be playing the role of a stalker, and Mickie James would be the Trish Stratus role. And then apparently they already filmed content for this angle, but it was scrapped just hours before it was debuted. So it's really sad that this happened. I mean, I do want to see reboot of that angle because it was so powerful. I know that Rosa Mendes and Beth tried to do it just a little bit. That didn't really go anywhere. And then they did it in the game SmackDown versus Raw when Natalya was a stalker.
I wanted to ask you about your outfit.
Oh, this? Isn't it great? I figured that if we were teaming together, we should match.
I don't remember that at all. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
You know how like SmackDown and Raw had like weird ass storyline, like Trish winning the World Heavyweight Championship, Candice turning someone into a frog.
Who knows? Yeah, I would have definitely loved that angle, and I hope they bring him back. And like that just makes me think too, like how many different with social media now, how many different posts and angles and different ways of they can add to it that they didn't have it before.
What I really love about Chelsea Green is that I know that she goes out of her own to make these clips, and she does experiment with her character. Chelsea Green, I love her so much. She's so creative. Her looks are on point. Her wrestling is there. I just wanted to stop getting injured, really.
And I was in a 4-way wrestling match with Chelsea Green once, and it was really cool to see her just like her experimenting and trying new stuff there, like in the indies. So she's not scared to see what sticks, what works. So I was definitely super excited for this. And you don't see a lot of other wrestlers take initiative and doing their own content or just like doing their own thing, doing their own clips and posts. So it's great to see somebody be super invested in themselves.
And lastly, before we wrap up this news, congratulations to Becky Lynch for having her first child.
Yay! Congrats!
Becky Lynch posted on her Instagram saying, "Welcome to the world, rocks."
I think it's Rue. I don't know.
Rue.
I'm sure somebody's gonna correct it.
English is my second language.
People for this.
Rue sounds right. Rue. So Becky wrote on her Instagram, "Welcome to the world, Rue. You are the love of our lives. Hashtag and new."
I just can't wait till all these superstar babies start growing up and start wrestling themselves, and they could just have a huge superstar baby, second generation, third generation battle royal.
And for Natalia to wrestle all of them.
Yes. She could be like the legend killer, like the baby legend killer, and just beat up all the wrestlers, Total Divas babies. That'd be cool.
And she's going to be on Total Divas season 41.
With her cats.
Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's news and rumor. I have to address, by the way, Layla interview. I know that people are upset that the interview is not out yet. So I want you to know, I'm not intentionally holding that interview to piss you off by any means. There is a lot that's going on behind the scenes with me and Layla and the communications. This is her first interview she's done over a very, very long time. So she was cautious about a lot of the answers that she gave. So she wanted to do a reshoot, and we are in process of talking about reshoots, okay? So I have decision to either publish what I have now in an unfinished version or do a full finished version of the interview. And I guess that's a decision I have to make soon. So I just want to let you know, I'm not doing this to like piss you off or anything.
So watch this part of the video before y'all comment, "Where's the Layla interview?"
It's one of the more stressful process of interview, but you know, I understand. This is her first interview since her retirement, so she want to do it right. I want to do it right, so there is a little more undertaking that goes behind it. Also, we just wrapped voting for end of the year Women's Wrestling Fan Awards 2020, so the results will be announced very, very soon. Paloma, where can we find you?
You can find me at Paloma Star on Instagram and Twitter, and check out my YouTube channel. I have a whole bunch of promos on there, so.
And you can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and we have an exciting news on our Patreon.
You can find both of us and the rest of the Ring the Bell crew at our very own exclusive Patreon Discord. It's so much fun. I'm always popping in and out whenever there's a wrestling in. We talk about anything and everything from drag race stuff to obviously wrestling to it's all over the place, and it's really cool to see the Ring the Bell community be so accessible and all over the world be right there in one place. So definitely join us over on Patreon and come join our Discord.
So yes, so anyone in the Patreon, any type of tier can join our Discord, talk about drag race, talk about Punky Brewster, all that.
Talk about that. That's how we found out that Rue was what means red in French.
Oh, I did. So I guess this entire episode is very all red everything.
And I'm wearing red, so it works out.
All right, but thank you so much for watching this week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.